Welcome to a Q&A episode. Today we are ripping in. We got 3 questions from you guys. Excited to answer. If you want to leave us a question for a future Q&A episode, go to Bulletproof at bjj.com, hit the podcast tab and record us a voicemail. We love it because you guys usually ask us some really good questions.
Yes, indeed.
It's a way for us to connect with the voice, at least, of listeners around the world.
Yeah.
Which is always sick. And the questions are great and they obviously help to inform the rest of the community when we get to answer here in this forum. So please fire away.
What I love about jiu-jitsu is connecting with my mates, having a great roll, getting a great workout. But what I hate about jiu-jitsu is cramps and muscle spasms. And the only way to avoid this is through proper hydration, my friends. And Sodi has the answer. Sodi is the perfect mix of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, which keeps the water in the muscles when you're working and rolling. So, go to Sodi, sodi.com.au, get yourself some delicious hydration salts, and use the code Bulletproof15 to get 15% off so you can roll smooth with no cramps. Yes.
First one coming in from your boy, Aaron Pendleton.
All right.
G'day lads, 1st of January here as I'm recording this. Hope you're enjoying the holiday period. Just a quick shout out, I had a random encounter in the Blue Mountains about 3 weeks ago with a very jacked JT. He was really cool, asked me how I'm going, how's my jiu-jitsu, and as I told him that I'm recovering from a shoulder injury, he showed really good genuine care and asked about how I'm going, offered some suggestions, and pointed me in the direction of a YouTube video with about 6 exercises to help improve my recovery. I've been doing those for the best part of 3 weeks now, and I am seeing a lot of benefit, a lot of pain reduction. The strength is there. So I just wanted to shout out and say thank you so much for that. Look, I know that the Bulletproof at BJJ program is more proactive rather than reactive and definitely preemptive in regards to getting your body ready so you don't encounter the injuries. But I really appreciate that advice. Just wanted to ask you guys, on your own experience recovering from injuries in the past, what are your markers that you're looking for? Is it strength in the joint or area that might have been affected? Is it range of motion, or is it a reduction of pain? What's a good idea, a good metric for you to know when's the right time to maybe push the envelope or get back to training? As always, really appreciate your insights. Thank you so much. Hope to catch up with you both soon. Cheers.
What a legend.
Legend, yeah. He popped out on me. It was nice. Shout out, Aaron. I was with my mum and dad down the street, and mum sensed, oh, there's something going on here. So they pulled off to the side, and mum's like, oh, did you go to school with him? And I was like, no, that was a podcast connect, which was nice.
I was like, are you still doing that silly podcast thing? What is that anyway?
Doing that thing where you and Joey talk a lot of nonsense. Yes, Mum, I am. But no, it was really cool to connect. And I had said also, because I think for Aaron, it was like, he's talking about, pummeling for underhooks and, people putting a lot of weight on the shoulder in that position. And so to answer your question, Aaron, I always go for range of motion first, like, can I scratch the back of my head, or can I lift my arm up, or how easy is it to put on a shirt or put on my shoes? Like just basic life stuff. And like once I've kind of got most of my range back, the pain thing is a bit subjective, because even sometimes when you're fully recovered, like even if you go to the physio's like, you're good to go. And you're like, yeah, it still hurts though. Pain isn't necessarily the best measure as to whether or not you can start to use things. And strength for me is always like, later, like that's kind of the last thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for being able to move and then just gradually build back a bit of proprioception and lower level confidence. So it's like this sounds strange, but like, for example, if you were trying to wash a pan, if you can't like kind of steering wheel, if you can't go this way and that way with your shoulder with internal and external rotation, then you shouldn't be doing jiu-jitsu yet, or you shouldn't.
Big pans you're washing.
Hey man, we got that 16-liter banger for all the Polish stew, man. No, but I'm saying like a good gauge, or the thing I do is like basic like household shit.
Yeah, taps and shit.
Yeah,
steering wheel.
Yeah, you got to open the door, or you got to open the jar, and you're like, my elbow. Like, if you can't be doing some basic tasks, then you're not quite there yet. That's what I'd say. So range of motion, day-to-day life stuff, then the strength, then the jiu-jitsu. How about you, Joe? How do you do it?
Yeah, not much different. I'm probably not looking at them from a I'm probably less systematic in how I look at it. But yeah, like, am I getting by just fine in daily life? If I'm not, that's usually like, oh, I better look deeper at this, which is go see someone who's better qualified than me, or like focus on it more in the gym and try to figure out what's happening. But I really use the gym as a diagnostic. So it's like, if it's my shoulder, what upper body movements are problematic, right? And if it's like, oh, overhead pressing, perpendicular pressing, all the pressing's feeling, it's when I'm doing upward pulling, let's say, upright rows or something like that. That's a bit of a problem for me. Okay, that tells me a thing. I'll often take that information to someone I know or to a physio that I know and be like, hey, this is the thing. And I will follow that until I feel like that movement pattern feels pretty good. Or I should phrase that differently. Not feels pretty good, but feels pretty strong.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty strong through all the movements, but there is still a little bit of pain. And that's where at times it can really help to have someone who's very qualified in that area of working with the body, who might say, and I've had this specifically with the shoulder, where they're like, your shoulder's good, I know you still got a bit of pain, just
keep going.
Go back. Yeah, go back to what you were doing.
Right.
Train it. Yep, train through the pain. Like, you're good.
Right.
Don't do stupid shit at jiu-jitsu, but like, yes, if it's hurting you a little bit when you're pressing or whatever, that's fine, and you're like, all right, and that's actually broken me through to shoulder feels good now.
Right.
Whereas if I was just going off the pain sensation, I'd be like, oh no, I still shouldn't do that.
You might have stopped when you should have continued.
Yeah, so I do really feel like the gym's good diagnostic for that. And in the same way you said range of motion, the gym will expose range of motion, right? If you are training in a way where range of motion is implicit in the programming, i.e. our program, it'll tell you. So you'll be like, oh man, overhead pressing doesn't feel good.
Yes.
Okay, overhead position sucks.
Yeah.
You know what's going on there. Let's work on that a bit.
Yeah, and sometimes that can point to maybe you need to then go do some additional exercises which aren't obvious, which will help unlock that.
Yeah.
But thank you for your question.
Good man, Aaron.
BJJ has become so competitive. Man, I really struggle to get to enough classes to stay good, but I still roll well. How? I use Submeta, submeta.io. If I don't have the answer to a technique, you know who does? Lachlan Giles. If I don't know how to do a technique, you know who also has the answer? The B Team guys. Where are they? They're on submeta.io. I go there, I suss out the class, whatever technique or position I don't know, it's there, it's available, and you can do it too. It doesn't matter if you're a white belt, or you're a black belt, or you're just a hard BJJ nerd trying to improve. Submeta.io is the edge. Even if you can't get to class, you can still study and you can still improve. It is the most comprehensive online platform for learning jiu-jitsu. And the great thing is it's structured in a way that keeps you engaged so you can remember what you're watching. Go to submeta.io and use the code Bulletproof16 to get $16 off your first month. And this is a limited offer for first-time subscribers.
Question number 2 from Micah. There's only one Micah in jiu-jitsu.
We'll see.
I'm quite honoured.
Morning, boys. BJJ purple belt. I've been training about 5.5, 6 years. Just want to thank you guys for the show and ask a quick question. The general strength thing, I've got that going well. Joints are in good shape. I have kind of old recurring back injury from years ago. This led to irregular sciatic pain. Stretching and strength conditioning helps a lot. The last thing on the list that still is a problem is impact. So anything that requires jumping or power, or especially when you're talking takedowns and I'm hitting the mat hard, or I'm doing box jumps, those things still really hurt my low back. And I even things like speed rope is just enough impact to cause pain for maybe the rest of the day. Or just a few hours, but it leads me to not want to do those things. So any tips you guys have on how to combat pain during impact and movements like that would be awesome. Thanks.
Okay.
Our boy's flying a jumbo jet.
He is.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's getting it. Okay, so this may help So Dr. Aaron Horschig, Squat University, he was talking.
What's his name? Aaron Horschig.
I'm probably mispronouncing it, but something like that.
Never knew that guy's name. Yeah.
I don't know, but he's relatively clever fella. Even though he's had different criticisms on, he likes
put out that much content, you're going to have some critiques.
He likes certain movements, but then he extrapolates them to help everything. It's just like, you're doing this again for that, but he's a smart fella. But he said something which I thought was interesting, that relevant to back pain, and this I think will relate to you, brother, is you can have certain amount of compression tolerance, like flexion tolerance, and then extension tolerance. And if you lack one of those two, it'll either be one or the other that'll cause your back pain. So for some people, when they go into extension, that's where they find their back pain. Another way to test he was like, it's not just like, say, doing a deadlift, but you sit in a chair and you grab the bottom of the chair and you kind of pull yourself down in the chair to put the compressive force into your spine. And if that causes you pain, then you lack compression, like a certain amount of compression and flexion tolerance. And he's like, you have to actually build it. And so if we think about impact as another form of compression in your spine, when you're driving jumbo jets, maybe sitting down a lot, it may be worthwhile. And definitely if you've had bulge discs or any other problems with your lumbar spine and you're getting sciatic pain, sitting is terrible. So spending a bit of time doing something which decompresses your spine is also helpful, whether that just be as simple as doing something that's like doing some hanging, and then also doing stuff like, not that I'm into swimming, I'm not, but being horizontal, like being horizontal in water is also.
I knew it, bro. I knew you were into swimming this whole time.
Secret
shit.
My life is a lie. But it's just being in water helps take the gravity off, which can help decompress your spine. And what you might find then is, if your spine is less compressed, then you're going to potentially, I'm saying potentially, not entirely, be less sensitive to the compressive.
Yeah. Give you a bit more bandwidth.
For accepting that. And we just don't do that shit in our day-to-day lives.
Reverse hyperextension could be good for that.
Is a really good way to decompress as well.
Yeah, man. It's an interesting one. I like your point there, JT, about like using stuff like in a therapeutic way to decompress. I think, right, he might just been driving a car with the window down, but I do know someone who worked on like farm vehicles for many years. Mining vehicles.
Right.
And he's got constant lower back compression issues.
Yeah.
And it's just from sitting in the vehicles, bouncing around.
Yeah.
The seats have like springs in them to make it a bit more comfortable. He's like, it just f***ed my back. So it's like any time of long form sitting, it f***ed me up. Kind of adjacent to what you suggested there, because I would suggest the same. But I was thinking, like, obviously, Micah, you like to train like everything, right? Box jump, speed rope, jiu-jitsu, like you're trying to do all the movement stuff. Maybe you could start to dose some lower intensity bouncy work into your diet and build volume in that first. And I'm actually thinking of running.
Yep.
Like because you think about running, it's depending where you're at on the spectrum of fitness and whatnot, it is kind of relatively low impact.
Yep.
And so you go out, run 5 or 10 Ks, you're getting a lot of reps of bouncing and compressive force. Maybe you can build some tolerance there that can then be dialed up to like plyometric work.
Sure.
Right? Which could then, because box jumps are kind of high up when you're actually looking at plyo stuff, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
So yeah, like sort of being a bit more gradual about it, you might be able to build tolerance through activities like that get you back to shit like training your wrestling, doing speed rope, doing box jumps, whatever, without the issues.
Yeah, and the thing I was going to say on that, I did have a thought. A good friend of mine, his dad was a postie, and that destroyed his lower back because the suspension on the old motorbikes back in the day was not as good.
Yeah,
20 years
non-existent in those old postie bikes, isn't it?
Yeah, like 20 years destroyed his lower back. And I actually find a lot of people who always ride motorbikes as their main mode of transport not great for the lower back.
Right. Yeah.
That's what Kawasaki And Harley Davidson is not telling you about that particular mode of transport. But I had seen this and I thought it was quite interesting, was jumping and then catching the bar and then stepping down. So as a way to get a plyometric, not plyometric, but like a way to increase power in the lower body, was jumping up as high as you can and then catching onto a bar and then stepping down via. So there's actually there's none of the eccentric.
You get the landing.
No, but you get the concentric explosiveness without the impact.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's quite creative. So it's just another way, if you're still trying to stay fast and keep speed in the legs, that could be something else to consider.
Yeah, actually, and another one on that is to do, like if you're trying to train vertical jump, using stairs, jumping up stairs.
Right.
Because you don't get that same impact. You walk back down.
Yeah, right.
Jump up, right? You're not like, you get the concentric piece, but you don't get the jump off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And also the consequences are not as great if you fuck up the landing.
Yeah, it's not as intense on the shins if you, like similar to box jumping as well.
Yeah.
When you shin the box. But mate, I wish you all the best with that. The sciatic piece is tough, and I would personally, I would say that you would need some professional advice just to see that you're not, as you could say, you're experiencing pain with certain activities. It would be good to know if you get some professional feedback as you change your training. If you're feeling better, that's a good sign, but having the professional eyes on it also helps.
Hey, the key to effective strength training is simplicity. I know that this has been the most important thing in my strength journey and jiu-jitsu journey. And it's really what's enabled me to be consistent over the years, and that's what's allowed me to consistently train and stay strong, build a robust body. And JT and I applied this exact thinking to the Bulletproof for BJJ app. We thought, how do we take strength training, demystify it, strip it back, make it as simple as possible so that busy jiu-jitsu folks, athletes and hobbyists who want to maximize their time on the mats and their progress in jiu-jitsu without spending hours in the gym each week, how do we take them and allow them to do that? And this is exactly why we built the Bulletproof for BJJ program. There is a program in there to suit wherever you're at, whether you have experience with strength training or not. If you're a total beginner or if you are advanced, you will find a home there for you. And the best part about it is that JT and I are there along with the coaching staff to help you on the journey. The other cool thing is that if you don't like it, for whatever reason, we'll give you your money back, no questions asked. You can get a 2-week free trial of the app right now. All you need to do is go to the App Store, search Bulletproof for BJJ, download the app, start your 2-week free trial today, and we will see you on the inside. Last one coming in from James.
Who is this, James?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm 46 years old, brand new blue belt, and my question is,
Congrats.
I was wondering if you guys have any experience or strong opinions on infrared saunas for muscle recovery and other health benefits. I apologize if this may be a topic you guys have already covered. Just point me to the right episode and I'll definitely check it out. But I'm considering purchasing one for my home. They're obviously fairly expensive, which I don't mind if it's worth it, if it's a good investment. But I also don't want to just fall for the next fad and marketing scheme. So, yeah, curious what you guys think, and I appreciate your podcast and keep up the good work. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, James. Congrats on the blue belt, man.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
That's an epic achievement. At 46 too.
Yeah, it's great.
What do you reckon about infrared saunas?
I've used them. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know like the science behind infrared as it being superior to a normal sauna, even though I know that there's plenty of people out there saying it is for various reasons, right? So I'm speaking only as someone who has been a user, not someone who understands much about them. Plenty of benefits to saunaing, full stop. Whether it's infrared or regular, elevating your body temperature, it's a great thing. Is infrared that much better than a regular sauna? I couldn't say for sure, other than it may be more convenient because you don't have to have the stones and, you don't have to put up with the same different amounts of fuckery, which is maintaining a regular sauna.
Yeah.
Similar setup, but like the digital version.
Less moisture, seemingly more simplified kind of operation.
At least from that perspective. And look, hey, man, it's amazing that you would commit to that because that is quite an investment. I'm sorry I don't have better feedback other than, man, I've used them. It had a good effect. It did feel a little bit different. It felt a bit less organic because it doesn't have the smell. You know, sauna, like you still get the wood smell of the timber, but it's definitely a different feeling.
Sorry, can you just go from you still got the good smell?
So the thing I found with the infrared sauna, which I've done, I think about 5 times now, it doesn't have the same sauna smell. Like, you know, when you go in a sauna, you're like, sauna, older European men have been here.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have that same feel. So it feels a little bit cleaner in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt a little bit less organic. Still hot as hell. They say there's all kinds of other health benefits, but I mean, if you're saunaing, I think it's a good thing. How about yourself, Joe? Have you with it?
I've used them. I liked them. Yeah, it probably wasn't quite as enjoyable as a traditional sauna, but, you know, did the thing, got me hot, got a sweat on, all of that. Look, for such things, I don't look particularly deep into things. I tend to just ask people around me and observe what, you know, others who I think are in the know do. And I see a lot of people who are into saunas who have who regularly use infrared. So that leads me to believe the technology is good and that they work great. And I do know they're a much more affordable option for like a small unit at home. So yeah, look, if I were you, James, I would probably just do a very shallow Google search and be like,
this bunk?
Yeah, like,
are they a scam?
Yeah, and if I can't find anything that's telling me they're a scam, then I just get one.
Actually, well, what I'd say is like to tell you someone, and she's kind of annoying now, but I still like and respect her work a lot. Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
Rhonda Patrick's great.
She's obsessed with saunaing, and
yeah, she's done all this shit.
She's done it back to front, dude. So if you just Google like
Rhonda Patrick
infrared sauna, she will have the science on that shit.
That's actually a really good suggestion.
It's a good go-to because like she just can't stop talking about saunaing and how good it is. So if anyone would know, she would know.
There it is. Leave us a question. Burning question. Jiu-jitsu politics.
All of that.
Technical shit. Stuff in the gym. Something personal about
what
JT
is
in my
Joey's
life. What do you want to know?
Facial cream routine.
Yeah, just ask.
Whatever you need.
Go to the website, Bulletproof at BJJ.com. Hit the podcast tab and record us a voicemail. We'll get you on the next episode. Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one.
Thank you.